Let me add something also on Victor Osimhen, as many of you keep asking me about this story. My understanding is that between Arsenal and Victor Osimhen, there is nothing really concrete. So there is no negotiation, no bid. I know many people started linking Osimhen with Arsenal since they had the conversation with Galatasaray for Gabriel Martinelli, but the understanding is that Arsenal are not in concrete or advanced negotiations for Victor Osimhen as of today. Should this change from now to the end of the window, I will let you know. But Galatasaray absolutely guarantee that they are not entertaining any talks for Victor Osimhen.
He says he wants his team to be the best in the world. So to do that, where does he need to strengthen, James?
Well, I think the left-hand side, the left wing, is the area where they have been looking for years and years to find the right answer, because unfortunately Gabriel Martinelli hasn't stepped up at the level that I think many thought he would 3 or 4 years ago. He was Arsenal's top scorer. He got 15 goals in one Premier League season, the first season where they came really close to challenging Manchester City. But he's not quite been at that level, perhaps, and that is why there were the links with Vinicius Junior. It's why Arsenal did try to explore that deal before he committed to Real Madrid. So that is one area of the pitch. Clearly, if they are to become one of the best sides in the world and a side that everybody loves, maybe they need to progress their game a little bit more. Last season, we saw Victor GYÖKERES was their top scorer. He got 14 in the Premier League, but it still didn't feel like he had a great season. But then going down that list, Bukayo Saka and Arteta'S got 7 goals each. So clearly, they want to try and be a more progressive side this season, you'd think. Now they've got the monkey of their back and they've won the Premier League. They want to go very close in the Champions League as well. And in defence right now, they are looking for cover and players that can come in and make a difference. And one thing Arsenal have done over the course of the last few years is they've strengthened whilst they're strong. It felt like in Aaron Ramsdale they had a perfectly capable goalkeeper. Mikel Arteta didn't think so. Brought in David Raya. And we've seen in the last few transfer windows, they've always felt like they had enough centre-backs, but they've gone on and got the best centre-backs in the world and increased that pool of talent, strengthening while they're strong. And that's what they want to do in this transfer window to ensure they don't stand still.
How worried should the other 19 teams be?
Well, they look the best equipped for me. I mean, I know Arsenal fans, they've tweeted me when I said this last week that so-and-so's not going to be ready for Friday. So I get that, but you've still got great options off the bench and you looked really strong last Sunday. So I will stand by what I think about that. They look the most ready, the most equipped, the strongest, and they deserve to be. You know, he's recruited well, and the other top clubs, you've got Xabi Alonso, new head coach, a new manager, should I say, at Chelsea. You've got Andoni Iraola. You've got United with Michael Carrick, with Europe now. You've got a new manager at Manchester City, the legend that is Pep not being there. So yes, they are by quite some distance.
I heard you to say that. Right, let's start with Arsenal. Mikel Arteta says he wants to make them the best team in the world. He was speaking at the launch day of the new Premier League season. Our football correspondent Rob Dorset grilled him and joins us now. Rob, very good evening. Right, he wants them to be the best in the world. So does that mean more players in before the end of the window?
Not necessarily, Mike. I think that's the sense I got from Mikel Arteta this afternoon. It's pretty clear that Arsenal are still looking. It's pretty clear that they've still got money to spend. But having brought in Bruno Guimaraes already, Christos Solis from Club Brugge, Piero Hincapié, of course, he was on loan last season. He's now permanent. And Elan Meslier as well in the goalkeeper department. Mikel Arteta said to me pretty clearly that he feels the squad he's got now is stronger than the one that he had that won the Premier League last season. And so they're not desperate to sign new players, but it's very, very clear they are still looking. And the point that I would make is twofold. Firstly, I think Arsenal have entered a new elite phase of their recruitment process. They have a team that's proved it's already capable of beating the rest in England. So they're only going to go for players who are the world's elite. You know, they were linked with Vinicius Junior, weren't they? They've been a long-time admirer of Julian Alvarez. It's those sorts of players, that calibre of player, that I think appeals to Arsenal right now. No point in bringing in incredibly good players who are no better than the players you've already got. That's the first point I would make. The second point is, as the reigning Premier League champions and as a team that was runner-up in the Champions League final, I think it's easier for them to attract the world's best right now. So have a listen to the Arsenal manager right now, Mikel Arteta, who said to me they haven't finished doing their business yet if the right player becomes available.
With certainly the ambition of the club, or the owners, is to be the best club in the world. And in order to do that, you need the best facilities, the best stadium, the best supporters, you need the best squad and the best players in the world. And those are the ones that win you football matches, and the ones that can be decisive when it matters. And that's what we try to build with the actual players that we have, and it is the players that we want to sign to make the difference for Arsenal.
Well, Rob, we also spoke to Arteta's boss, the chief exec, Richard Garlick. Did he give any indication that they'll do more business?
It's a pretty rare interview we got with Arsenal's chief executive. He doesn't speak to the media very often, but when he does, he's very, very good and very open, I think you have to say. And he made it clear there is money to spend if Arteta and the Arsenal recruitment department believe the right target is out there. And again, he talked a lot about the commercial expansion of Arsenal and how they want to become a super club, how they want to be able to compete with the likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid, Manchester City and Liverpool, who are still outstripping Arsenal at the moment in terms of their commercial activities. Nevertheless, Arsenal had record revenues last season of £691 million. Expect that figure to increase maybe by 15% off the back of the incredible season they had last season. So money isn't actually the problem for Arsenal going forward in trying to attract the right players. But have a listen to Richard Garlick, because he makes it very, very clear that, like his manager, he thinks they're fishing in a more elite pond right now, trying to get big names to come to the Emirates.
I think in the past we've looked at players that maybe help build out the squad or get us to a certain level, but now we're competing right at the top level, and we do need to bring in players that are going to change the dial. That might be younger players that maybe come into your squad and you give them time to develop, and you've seen some of the players that have come through Arsenal in the last couple of years. You've seen that, and if we're able to combine those players that are coming through from our academy with some of the best players coming in the world, then we've got every chance of maintaining that success and if not, go beyond what we've already achieved.
Rob, what about Arteta's contract? It's got to be sorted out shortly, surely.
Yeah, it's been dragging on this, hasn't it? And every time we speak to Mikel Arteta, he's pretty laid back about it. He says he wants to stay. He's got no plans to go anywhere else. And Richard Garlick said exactly the same thing, his boss, today. He's very relaxed about the situation. He says that he and Arteta have already been talking about this for a long period of time. It's just got to get done. The final negotiations have got to happen. The problem is, we've heard that a lot. And Arsenal supporters, I think, have heard that a lot. And they'll just be a little bit nervous. Just a little bit nervous, especially with his elite contacts in Spain and the fact that he's from that country himself, with some of the biggest clubs in the world, potentially looking at him at some point in the future. I think Arsenal fans would like to see it signed and sealed pretty quickly. Richard Garlick says it won't be too long now.
I don't think there's any fear that Mikel he wants to stay at the club, and obviously we want him to stay at the club as well. And yeah, we will. The process is in play, and we're all very happy with the way that's progressing. We've got a transfer window to navigate over the next couple of weeks, but we'll look to conclude that as soon as we can. They've been ongoing for a number of months, and they're very, very constructive, very progressive. As I say, he wants to be at this club. We want him to be at the club, and I'm sure we'll find the solution sooner rather than later.
So Arteta and Richard Garlick there pretty comfortable about the situation. Look, we expect Arteta to sign a new deal. I think it's a formality, but as I say, I think the fans would like to see it done sooner rather than later, and probably the Arsenal players would like to see that happen as well. In terms of this big Premier League launch here at Olympia in London, the home of the new Premier League studios, it's been really, really impressive, and we've seen an awful lot of Arsenal and Coventry, the reigning Premier League champions, one of the new boys in the Premier League. Of course, it's that game that kicks off the new season, one of 1,500 matches you can see live on Sky Sports this season. Arsenal against Coventry, live on Sky Sports, Friday night.
Cannot wait. Rob Dorset, our football correspondent. Thanks, Rob. Right, let's talk Arteta's contract, James. I put this to Rob, but they do need to get this sorted, don't they?
Yeah, and Josh Kroenke said in the summer that it was their utmost priority to get this sorted in this next few months, because clearly the longer it goes on, the more speculation there will be. But I think Mikel Arteta, when he spoke to the media last week, made it clear that things will get resolved. That's the term he used. It said it will be resolved. He confirmed he will commit to another contract at the club, and it's been remarkable, the journey that he's been on with Arsenal, culminating in those scenes we saw at Selhurst Park in May when they finally lifted the Premier League title for the first time since 2004. It's been
Arsenal fans, the Victor Osimhen story is getting more interesting by the day. Recent reports indicate that Arsenal have discussed Osimhen's availability with Galatasaray, with the Nigerian striker once again emerging as a possible target. Osimhen has also responded to the growing transfer speculation with a "we will see" a message, keeping the door open to more questions about his future. But here is where things get complicated. Arsenal already have Victor GYÖKERES, who was brought in as the club's major number 9 solution, yet the possibility of Osimhen arriving would completely change the situation. Would Arsenal actually spend another huge fee on a striker, and if they did, what would happen to GYÖKERES? There are already reports linking Barcelona with interest in the Swedish forward, although that does not mean Arsenal are actively looking to sell him. For Osimhen, the attraction is obvious. He offers explosive pace, physical power, aerial ability, and the kind of penalty box instinct Arsenal have been searching for. Reports have suggested a fee in excess of £50 million could be required, while other reports have put the potential deal closer to £58 million. So this would not be a small squad addition. It would be a major statement from Arsenal and Andrea Berta about how seriously the club wants to dominate English and European football. And then there is Mikel Arteta. The Arsenal manager is entering the final year of his current contract, but fans received a major reassurance recently. Arteta has said he expects to sign a new contract and insisted there is no reason for supporters to worry about his future. That is significant because Arsenal have just come off a Premier League title-winning campaign, and Arteta is now the longest-serving manager in the Premier League following Pep Guardiola's departure from Manchester City. The timing could hardly be more important. Arsenal have already invested heavily in the squad and are still open to further additions, while Arteta is looking to take this team to another level. The Community Shield victory over Manchester City has only increased expectations, and the next challenge is proving that Arsenal can stay at the top while also making a deeper run in Europe. If Osimhen arrives, Arteta would suddenly have another elite attacking weapon and an enormous selection decision to make. So Arsenal fans, could this be the transfer that changes everything? Osimhen to Arsenal would be a blockbuster move, but it raises an even bigger question: is Arsenal preparing to build an unstoppable attack around two elite strikers, or would signing the Nigerian mean another major twist involving GYÖKERES? And with Arteta preparing to commit his future to the club, one thing is becoming clear: Arsenal are no longer building for tomorrow. They believe they are ready to win now.